Right, so, welcome back everybody. You're watching the Gigabyte Dota Masters Tournament. I'm Triforman. Casting with me, of course, is Gods from Absolute Legends. And right now, we've got Duskbin on the Dire side, and they're going to be up against sqL. Now, sqL looking very strong. 3-0 in their group, and possibly going to make their way through to the next round in the top 2. Duskbin, on the other hand, I think they're 0-2 currently, and need to break this losing streak to basically stay alive in the tournament. As we've got the first ban there, Gods, Chen.
Yeah, we've seen Duskbin. They used to Chen in their, I believe it was their first game, but that was when they did that a bit of an unusual side lane solo pudge, and they did go for some of those fountain hooks, although in the end the strategy did not work out as they were on the back foot from the start. sqL this time on the Dire side with the first pick as well, and we're going to see them banning up the Chen. Duskbin wondering what are they going to go with, as they are looking, as you said, to pick up their first win here in the Gigabyte Dota 2 Masters.
Yeah, they really do, and I honestly, I know some people were freaking out because I was using Heroes of Newer terms in the chat before, but I was talking about this team, Duskbin, and they are a very strong Heroes of Newer team, and they just haven't been able to replicate the same success. And particularly, Mr. Swish was one of their was their go-to solo guy, like their sort of semi-carry solo guy, and he's currently playing as High there with the. Yeah, you can see there with the Scarlett Johansson picture. Now, he's been getting killed a lot. I don't know if it's because everybody knows got to focus fire that guy, or if it's just because he's not adjusting that well. But Duskbin definitely do need to pick things up. We've got the Brewmaster ban. No real surprise. People have been very scared about this hero and not letting him come through, as people are freaking out. But there is a 2-minute delay, guys, on the stream. There is a 2-minute, unless I noticed it was 1 minute yesterday. I set it back to 2. I don't know if that was something that accidentally got changed, or if it's just what we're going to run with normally, but. Yeah, Brewmaster banned. What else do you think we'll see, Gods?
I don't know what sqL will be going with here. I know they like to ban heroes like the Invoker. They don't really have someone who plays the Invoker all that often. They do like the Brewmother. We've seen Kux play that side lane solo Brewmother quite a bit, so maybe they're going to want to go with the Brewmother here again, as I believe they did use that in their last game. And Fumofu does like to play the solo mid role, and we have Envy playing their main carry here, as Vodki, K-Phoenix will be the 2 support players for them. Duskbin banning up the Leshrac, so that's a hero we've seen a lot of, but not really being banned all that much, just often picked up as a nice mid-game sort of DPS and pushing hero.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing a lot of work. I guess they've just decided, you know what, there's bigger threats on the board. He is definitely very nasty, but of course, you can limit his effectiveness just by focus firing and bursting him down in the fight. He's a little bit squishy until he gets his items up and running, and sqL have gone, well, first picking Invoker, so we'll see what they can do with him once again. And also the last ban on the Radiant side, getting rid of that other jungler, the other really nasty, early aggressive jungler, Enchantress.
Yeah, Duskbin going with some out of the ordinary bans. I mean, Leshrac and Enchantress, 2 heroes which are strong heroes, but not really top bans, top picks. We'll see just what they want to go with here. They've got 2 picks of their own, and as far as this pool is concerned, still quite a bit left in there. Probably gonna, I'd say we're looking at something like a Windrunner and an Earthshaker here. Or they are going to go with the Shadow Demon nice and early. Anti-Mage still in the pool as well. They could even pick that up, because I'm sure sqL are thinking if they pick up Anti-Mage, we can go for the Shadow Demon. But no, they're going to go with the Morphling.
Okay.
And the problem is for sqL is they're kind of restricted. They can't just pick up the Anti-Mage to go with a hard turret of their own, because Shadow Demon really wreaks havoc on an Anti-Mage.
I think it's a definitely good pick. And yeah, the Enchantress ban is a little weird now. As of a few weeks ago, before Brewmaster and Lycan came out, she was much more common in the ban list. Even Leshrac would hit the ban pool more often than that. But now that Brewmaster and Lycan are here, it's just sort of really bumped them down in terms of priority for banning. Of course, you've only got those 3 early bans to really try and sort things out, and then having to hope that they don't pick those heroes if you're really worried about them. But Lich getting picked along with Windrunner, I'm kind of expecting to see Lich as a support here, and Windrunner probably that suicide solo.
Yeah, Lich is not something we've seen a huge amount of, but sqL going with it early here, and something that I know is popular in the Australian scene for a long time was this Lich Windrunner dual lane, or you'd go with a Lich Marina. You'd send both heroes bottom, and you could put that lane against a tri-lane. You could put it against the Morphling tri-lane, and you do really well because of the Dark Ritual, and Windrunner is also very hard to kill because you've got the Windrun, and you've got the Shackle Shot as well to stop sort of any aggression coming in, so it's a very safe dual lane that you can put against a tri-lane. So that's maybe something sqL are thinking of doing here, as Sand is going to be the 3rd pick for Duskbin. And with that, we see sqL banning out the Brood, deciding they don't want to pick it up this game.
Yeah, it's fair enough, getting rid of that. Cuck's not going to be running that. Anti-Mage getting banned. Not too surprised. I mean, once he's pretty much every time we've seen Lich, there has been an Anti-Mage on the team as well. And they've been running a double mid with Lich and Anti-Mage. That's been the most common thing we've seen, like DK, all those teams run that sort of lineup. I definitely think the Anti-Mage ban was smart, but the question is whether or not sqL would have gone with the same bans. I don't know. Would you call sequential a sort of a Western style team, or do you think they follow a similar band system, a similar band/pick system to the Asian teams?
I'd say that it's closer in style to the Asian teams, but with that said, they do practice and play a lot with the European teams. They're currently in they're in the American division for the Pro Dota 2, the non-pro division, the sort of the Division 2. Yeah. They're playing in the American one for that. I believe you do some of the casting for that over at DotaCast. But yeah, I'd say they play more with the European teams and the American teams, but they definitely have sort of a more sort of Asian style. I think the Australian most of the Australian teams who watch replays and sort of follow teams, they're following the Chinese teams, they're following the teams in Southeast Asia, such as Orange, MUFC, Zenith, whoever it is. So I'd say it's more Asian in that way. I mean, a hero like Lich is definitely a hero that the Asian team's favor to pick up.
Now I see the guys in the chat, they're really happy. They're saying, at last, Duskbin have decided to play more stand. They've decided to pick up a hard carry. I'm just waiting for them to throw out a complete curveball, a side lane pudge or something. The Titan the next pick. I'm sort of... Ooh. I think they might actually grab another support and farm the Tide Hunter, or they might even try and sideline the Lich, although I think we saw that once and it didn't work particularly well. Even with the Dark Ritual, he was just a little too squishy and they would jump on him with the stuns whenever he moved up even a little bit. So, but in this case, I kind of feel that we might see... Oh, then again, actually, no, they might pick up a carry. Might send the Windrunner Suicide Solace in the Invoker mid. That is also a possibility as well. So we'll see. We'll see what they pick up. Sand King, though, well, Ricky also being banned along with the anti-mage. That doesn't surprise me, just because they have similar early high DPS on their auto attacks. Not too surprised to see them remove that. But gods, I think they could do... Well, it depends whether or not they run the Sand King as a farmer, or if they run him as a support. In this case, I think he might be the support, as we've got the Shadow Demon there for him to work with, and they grab the Beastmaster. So Beastmaster, either Suicide Solo or Solo mid, he could do either.
Yeah, I think the Asian teams more often than not do put him in that mid lane. A side lane solo is somewhere where he can just be shut down, kept down to level 1 if you're up against a dual lane or prior lane for sure, but even a dual lane can just shut him down completely. Yeah, I think Sand King, I agree, will be played as a support here. Partly because none of these heroes he can do that well in a 1v1. He can't really solo against Lich, he can't really solo against a Windrunner or an Invoker. None of these matchups are all that favorable for a Sand King, and if he can't, I mean, he could go up against a duel or Triline and just sort of sit in Sandstorm, but it's not looking like a game where we'll see Sand King played as a solo hero, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, could surprise us here, but Sand King, Shadow Demon likely to be the two supports, as Duskbin probably looking to pick up maybe some kind of side lane solo here, unless they want to run their Triline top, but a hero like Puck could work very well in their lineup. Is sqL going to pick up their last hero? And I think they'll go for some kind of semi-carry here, some kind of DPS, maybe something just as simple and straightforward as a Mirana.
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, that Moonlight Shadow, I keep saying this, but Moonlight Shadow and Ravage are a lot of fun. Really makes you have to worry about where she is at all times. I see a couple of, I think MacPan Tech was asking where Duskbin from. Duskbin, on the Radiant side, they are a Filipino team, and honestly, at the moment, looks like they are, honestly, the strongest Filipino team at the moment. So, if you're a Pinoy, probably the ones you want to start barracking for, because Mineski are looking mighty weak at the moment, particularly with their roster changes, not looking very strong at all. While Duskbin, while they haven't managed to land...
Biased.
I know, biased.
Completely biased. Duskbin have not won a game. How can you even say that?
But
I am here to say
no.
They
have turned up on time. They have turned up on time, barring actual
Turning
problems.
up on time does not make you better at Dota.
And they've had better... Like, I'm going to say they've had much closer games. Their second game was a lot closer, and it was up against Zenith, who are looking... Zenith are pretty crazy strong right now. Whereas Mineski have been getting pub stomped by everybody, including the wildcard teams. So, I think that is a relatively...
Mineski have yet to play with their full roster as well, though. So for me, it's like, well, is it really even Mineski playing? Sure, they're going on the Mineski tag. It is players who are associated with Mineski playing, such as their team... I think their manager and... their CEO actually played one game, but they only had one or two of their players in their actual main roster playing those games. So for me, it's not one of those things where you can quite compare the two teams yet. We are going to see a faceless Void meanwhile. We should focus on this game. We can bicker later on about who is better, Mineski or Duskbin. Faceless Void is the last pick, and I mean, this is a hero I've not seen in ages, but this is a cool pick. I like seeing the Faceless Void here.
Yeah, well, he was like, for so long, people were like, oh, the only person who can go toe-to-toe with Anti-Mage in late game, the OP, ridiculous Anti-Mage, screw AM pickers, was Void. And honestly, as we saw, it just came down to, oh, well, the metagame changed a little bit, just adapt your whole lineup a little bit, and it became just you don't really have to worry about it all that much. I mean, we've seen AL just go, you know, I don't care if there's a farmed Anti-Mage in late game, we'll fight it with a Mirana, Bleak's Mirana. So it's definitely a hero that we haven't seen. I know Snoopy was saying he was thinking about trying some pretty crazy strats, like big setups with the time stop and Ice Blast from Ancient Apparition, but I think it's sort of a risky fringe play. We honestly haven't seen AL do that. So, and like you said, haven't seen Faceless Void in such a long time. I feel it's just because he's got that nice big stun, but you really had to have a team that can make good use of it. Otherwise, it's just it doesn't do much.
And at the same time, I don't think he's actually that good a counter to Anti-Mage. I think when people are picking up to counter Anti-Mage, I don't think they'll... I mean, he had some okay results. I think it was about 50-50 when he went up against Anti-Mage or something. But it's one of those things. Anti-Mage, I mean, can just completely drain his mana. Void is such a low mana hero. And late in the game, Anti-Mage is such a better hero for pressuring lanes, pushing lanes out, and pushing down towers quickly. Whereas Void is more all about the team fight, using that chrono. So he is a lot more limited in what he can do. There we do see the puck is going to be the last pick for Duskbin, and that looks like it's going to be their side lane solo. Head to the top lane, Beastmaster at mid, and that tri-lane with the Sand King, Shadow Demon, and Morphling going to be at bottom. And that is, by the looks of it, going to be a Lich and Windrunner maybe at bottom lane, although if Lich stays at bottom, that means we're seeing a tied Void lane at top, so I'd say maybe Lich is going to look to deny a couple creeps early on, then head towards the top lane.
Oh, God. What do we want? Shoutouts to yours, Tibby, Braza... What was that? Manhulo and Harry Jan. That's from sqL Feeny. As Duskbin would also like to give a shout out to yours. And Tiborsin and Czup. Who the hell is this Czup? They give him shoutouts every game.
He's a good buddy of theirs. I think he goes to the same LAN as them, and he's...
Oh, okay.
I don't know. He's like he's also the 6th player on their roster, I believe.
Oh God, greedy with a shout out. Smoker giving himself a shout out again. He does this all the time.
No, shout out to Miel. Miel is actually the Mineski team manager, who is quite the looker, apparently.
Okay, fair enough. Apparently I get my own shout out. Sweet. Shout out to me. Thanks, guys. I will pat myself on the back right now. As I see people asking what's with the glove that they saw earlier. It's my Pokemon glove. I catch Pokemon with it. I kid you not. God, I was such a Pokemon nerd when I was a kid. And Czup again. Another shout out to Czup. Tired of going with the early smoke back to the game. Invoker probably going with the Wex Quest, just because we've seen with the Blades of Attack against. Usually, when he's going for that Exhort build, we see a lot of stat items. Envy, though, has... Oh, he started off with the Poor Man's Shield, and they pulled him double tangos. In fact, 2 guys actually donating to the pool there. So we've got Lich to start off with. Lich very poor at the moment. Windrunner will be the farmer. Well, if indeed she is going to be having backup in this lane. Sometimes we do see aggressive tries with Windrunner, although in this case I don't think so, just because Void, they don't want to leave Void alone, so I really doubt it. And Lich actually just dropping off. Sometimes realizing she doesn't have space for the extra Iron Branch.
And Lich is going to ferry that down towards the bottom lane just to keep it nice and close to the Windrunner. What a nice Lich. That is how you play support. Drops it halfway up the lane, and Lich is going to go back just to make sure he can get that early deny onto this bottom lane, as Windrunner against this tri-lane is going to have a hard time, but with that sacrifice skill, will be able to get the wave pushed back a bit closer to his tower. Needs to be careful though. Sand King, the Windrunner just in time. I think Sand King was in range for that stun if he wanted. Yeah. Morphling doing a bit of wave body blocking. Just get some damage done. But
maybe just decide, you know what, we probably won't get the kill here, and I don't want to waste mana. Obviously, Sand King very mana hungry during that early phase, and he's level 1 stun, not that much damage. It's really, the range is pathetic on it. That's the main thing. 350 units range is really tiny. So maybe decide, you know what, no, screw it. We don't even know how many people are here. We're only sort of jump in, and it's later when they say, okay, there's nobody here, there's nobody else skulking further up on the other side of the trees, that they decided Morphling might as well cause some damage with his jump.
Yeah, and Tucker's actually gone for a TP scroll at level 1, so bit of an unconventional build there. Maybe just worrying about this early aggression and just thinking, okay, if they 3-man gate me at level 1, they haven't got any stuns, I can just TP right home, but definitely not something you'd typically see on the puck here. Mid lane, we have got Beastmaster up against Invoker. That's going to be a somewhat tough lane for Beastmaster. He has not got the Stout Shield, which would block a lot of that damage and harass. Tidehunter going to do some early dewarding.
That's definitely going to help them out quite a bit. Also, the Dire side, the Radiant side, doing their own counter warding, working on that right now. And yeah, I agree, definitely the lack of a Stout Shield is going to cause some trouble here, Mr. Swish. But we'll see what he can do. Can he pull back and show us that his legendary form from Hon still exists, or is it just sort of a still hasn't transitioned properly? Meanwhile, I do agree. The early port on Puck is very, town portal scroll, very weird. Don't normally see that starting gold being used on that, but we'll see what he can do with it. Maybe he's just hoping, or maybe he's got it in case he needs to counter gank early. That'd be my best guess. I wouldn't think he needed to run away, just because he's already good at that.
Sanking and Shadow Demon actually de-ward the bottom river observer ward on the high ground as well. So Sanking cleverly positioned himself where they could see it from the high ground, while Shadow Demon took that down. And now we're going to see Duskbin using this creep pull to their advantage. Going to use it nice and early. They haven't actually stacked it yet, so maybe Sanking going to try tango his way through, get that double pull. Void at the moment up against the Puck, not the easiest lane, but Puck does not do massive damage, and he does have that poor man shield as well as the double tangos that he has been pulled as well, so should be able to survive this lane, as Tide is just going to be using that creep pull, denying XP, getting some levels, and then probably looking to maybe even come out, put some pressure on the Puck a bit later.
He also has backtracks to the cold snap down on Mr. Swish, doing some damage, but the Void has gone for backtrack as well as 2 levels in time lock. It's not bothered with leap just yet, so he doesn't need that pseudo blink. As of right now, Puck actually coming right under the tower, trying to get that deny off. Getting very aggressive. He was very bold. Lich finding himself an illusion rune. Might roll up here. Oh wow, okay, they're actually jungling right now. Going to use that double pull to great effect and just leech experience right now. And a little bit of gold, but mainly experience from this jungle, from these jungle camps, and allow more from them to get as stacked and as farmed as possible, as quickly as possible.
Yep, but Lich, I mean, the thing with Lich, that sacrifice has a 35-second cooldown. You can practically deny 1 creep from every wave, which is a quarter of Morphling's farm, so it really will slow down Morphling's farm by a great deal. And also, it'll help the wave push out, which is going to make it even harder for Morphling to farm. And there we're going to see smoke pop by Sanking and Shadow Demon, but I think sqL might notice they had the illusion but from Lich there, so they must think, okay, they were just in that jungle. Where the hell did they go? They're not bottom with this Morphling. They should know what's going on here if they are going to be playing sharp, although Fumofo, though, thinks he's probably safe at this tower. We're going to find out soon whether or not Shadow Demon and Sanking can, in fact, get him.
Yeah, well, Shadow Demon's in position to get that banish off. They've seen him, though. Now he knows, okay, there's trouble here. He is going to back up. He's got his second Blades of Attack just to increase his last hitting power, as well as Harass power. That's really always come back. Shadow Demon's going back to the mid, as he's also got Ghost Walk. Is that Ghost Walk? There is Ghost Walk. Alright. He's also blown it. I don't know if
I believe that would have been a misclick. Maybe not. Maybe he just thought he was under trouble. But the Ghost Walk early on eats up a lot of mana. It's 200 mana, and third spot is actually going to go at top. Puck gets completely caught out, and that's going to go to the Faceless Void. Faceless Void the kill doesn't go to the Faceless Void, it goes to the Faceless Void's lane, to the Tidehunter. Faceless Void's actually trying to rush a minus, I believe, here.
Possible. I think he must have gotten a lucky bash off there, and Puck engaged, and then Puck actually didn't expect. Like, Void is actually maxing bash right now. He's got 3 in bash, 1 in the backtrack, and then 1 in that time leap. Is it even still called? It is time walk in this game. I think I'm using it here as a newer term there. Bad Triumph. Bad Triumph. Feel bad.
I like this Faceless Void build. They can be aggressive, and that's the one way they can kill a Puck. The time walk is not going to get kills on the Puck alone, simply because Puck can use the phase shift and the orb out. But if you can get a bash or two, get lucky with the gush, that's going to get Void some kills. And yeah, I've seen Envy play carries quite a bit. He does like to go for that quick Midas, so that's what we're going to be seeing on him. And it works well on a hero like Void, because Void does need the attack speed so badly, so he really does benefit from the Midas, because he also needs the farm. And he will probably go for that Battle Fury afterwards, as we see Sanking rotating towards top. Gonna spot the Tidehunter. They're going to trade hits, but Sanking should stun. There we go, stun, and Puck can also do some damage here. The Gush goes in, as well as an Anchor Smash. Void may look to take out this Puck. Puck forced the orb away, and now Sanking gets bashed. Woohoo! Burrow Strike back up, but it's only level 1.
Still has Sandstorm up as well, so he should have been just fine. Puck has actually moved back. He has also popped a Tango, trying to heal up. He went for an early null. Talisman listed. Gets hit by Void's ult. Now he's in some serious trouble. There is no backup from Feeny, though. It's going to come down to, can he do the damage? Does clean him up. Gets off that attack that he needed to before Puck can F the real jaunt away. Even if he'd only gone for a short hop, Void wouldn't have been able to run him down there.
Wow, that was a nice chrono. I didn't even realize it was level 6 myself already. And bottom lane, Morphlin did actually pick up a kill on the windrunner there, so it looks like